Good evening, Patrick here, Eight Questions with. Welcome to the show. Oh, all right. It is Wednesday. Wednesday, which is also known as Hump Day, right? I guess. I don't know where that came from. I guess that came from the middle of the week, right? You can climb up to Wednesday and fall down to the weekend. Um, well, anyway, happy Hump Day to everybody. It's a chilling day here in southeastern Michigan. Um, we had about 4 to 5 inches of snow dump on us yesterday when it was all said and all said and totaled up. But it's already melting really quite quickly, actually. Um, yeah, it's already going away. Uh, Hey, Mike, how are you, sir? How are you? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Thank you for stopping by yesterday. Thank you for stopping by every day, actually. I'm very grateful for that. I know it's 1 o'clock in the morning, if 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, over in the UK. So I definitely appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. Hey, Anthony, how are you, sir? How are you? Glad you're here. We are going to be talking to a returning guest. Filmmaker Mitch Laing is going to be here with us, and he was here the last time we talked about his film The Bogman. And this time we're bringing company to the party. We're bringing not only we're bringing Mitch, but we're bringing back one of it. We're bringing one of his actors, Benjamin Gross, and we're making the makeup artist for this film. Jeanette Netherlands will be here with us today at 8 o'clock. Jeanette Netherlands will be here. I think I said that right. Um, yeah, we've interviewed Mitch before. We also interviewed one of his other makeup artists, Bree Hill, who worked on the Bogman. So there's a lot of talent down there in Louisiana, and we're so glad to have Mitch come back and talk to us about the new movie that he's been making. It's a sequel to the Bogman, and it's called Sea of Madness. And if you look right above here, you'll see that I have scary, and I have a hashtag for mermaid. So that always might tip you off to something what's coming down our way. Um, Me too, Mike. I'm always glad to support you as well. Um, yeah, it's a mutual respect. That's for sure. That's for sure. Um, Always looking forward to seeing what you have to say. Um, yeah, last night was absolutely sensational. I gotta thank you guys for everybody to come in yesterday. Wow, what a fun show that was. That was a banging show for sure. We had Jamie Hill on the show, one of the stars of Skinamarink, and also Grotesque 1 and 2. I'm Haunted 1 and 2. Had a lot of fun with that last night, and what a terrific guest she was. Very well spoken. Very, she definitely knows where she wants to go. That's for sure. Oh, speaking of Jamie Hill, she just walked through the door. All right. So yeah, what a sensational show last night. I'm so grateful for you guys all for coming up there and really getting into the engagement part of it. Um, it's really cool. It's really cool to see. I really do appreciate it. And we're back tonight with Mitch and his friends will be here, his crew, his cast and crew. And like I said, we talked to Mitch before for the Bogman, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait to hear about. Hopefully, maybe his makeup artist will do the same thing as Bree Hill did. Maybe she'll be able to do us a little makeup as we're talking to her on the air. If you have not seen that interview with Bree Hill, you need to see that because that was a badass show too. Young, very dynamic makeup artist. Not only did she interview us, not only did she talk to us, but she also made this terrific cut on her hand while she was doing it. It's amazing. A lot of talent in Louisiana, that's for sure. Um, so let me tell you what's coming up on the old schedule. For sure, for sure. So tomorrow kicks off February. The month of love, right? Well, we're kicking off with a badass and a soulful badass at that, and mighty Mike Ferguson. Mike Ferguson will be with us um, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. That's going to be a lot of fun to talk to him. Mike Ferguson is going to be doing a movie called Unseen, and which also features our friend Jamie Hill right here. So we'll be talking to Mike tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Sunday, matinee show, 2 p.m., 2 p.m. We're going across the pond to talk to our good friend Rick Malin and his director Chris Annable for the one night rental. Rick has actually gotten to the acting game. This is his first big role. It's very well supportive. Chris Annable's a good director. He also got backed up by a very good English actress named Danny Thompson, who actually has been interviewed on here as well. And hopefully we'll get her back in March. I plan on asking her to come back in March. But Rick got to share scenes with Danny Thompson. It's going to be sensational. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk to him about his experience, and that will be this Sunday at 2 p.m. on the 4th of February. Then on the 6th, we have model Kate Estrella will be here. I think it's Kate. Did I ever spell that? I think I spelled it right because I don't want to call her Cat Estrella if it's Kate Estrella. And she'll be here at 8 o'clock, and we'll talk about the world of modeling for sure. Hi, Stephen. How are you? I believe it is Kate, so I'm going to go with that until Stephen tells me differently. On the 7th of February, we have actor and producer Brendan Crum will be here with us at 8 p.m. On February 8th, we have the lovely Morgan Malam will be here with us. That's right. Morgan will be here with us. I cannot wait for her to come back. And she is. And she's celebrating her birthday with us, which is, I really find that really quite honorable. I'm really taken back with that because not only is she a newlywed, but it's her birthday, and she could go out and party with her friends and celebrate with her birthday with all her friends and whatnot. But she chose to spend the birthday with us here on 8 Questions With, and I'm so happy about that because Morgan is like, she is definitely one of the nicest people that I've ever interviewed. She is so much fun. This will be her second trip here with us. And if you have not seen the first interview, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And I got her a little surprise for her birthday, and I can't wait to share it with her and then send it to her. All right. Let's see. So that'll be a week from tomorrow, and then on Friday the 9th, we have actor Corin Nemec will be here. Of course, Corin has a ton of credits. Many of you guys know him from Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I remember him from The Stand. I remember him from his from all the wonderful creature features that he's done. He's also is also in Stargate SG-1. Just some of the stuff that he's done. I mean, if I told you his credit list, I'd be here for the whole show. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to him. And so he will be here on Friday the 9th at 8 p.m. And then on the 13th, we have our second showcase with Bipolar Records. And that will be with a band called Boo Swept that's based here in Michigan. And that will be on the 13th of February. On Valentine's Day, we are welcoming in Don Zombie. That's right. Our good friend Night Owl Movie Talk will be here. You get a sloppy hand heart. You get a sloppy hand heart. Yeah. All right. One of the coolest guys in the community. If you have not seen the Don Zombie shout out video, that's probably the greatest thing since sliced bread. Absolutely priceless. So Don's going to be here with us on the 14th, and we'll be joined by our good friend Lady Valerie for that show, and that'll be on the 14th. And then on the 15th, we will be having, for the first time, and I can't tell you why, and but we're going to be having the mighty Joe Lujan also coming into the show. Joe Lujan is a filmmaker based out of New Mexico. He owns and runs Carcass Studios, and he has a crazy multiverse of movies. Super fun, super creative. He also has a comic book line He also publishes comic books. He helps produce records. Um, Joe Lujan can do it all. And this will be our first time having Joe on the show. We first met Joe Lujan when we had him on the Midnight Hour. I will be joined by special co-host for that show too. I will be joined by special co-host actress Grace Juliana will be here with us on the on the on the 15th. Okay, and then on the 17th, we have our first watch along. So this is how it's going to work. This is the 8 Questions with show, but we're having a watch party with the cast and crew of the movie Gunfight at Rio Bravo, and we're going to have the filmmakers and we're going to have some of the cast members come up for that, and that's going to be Saturday night at 9 p.m. here. So we're going to be talking, we're going to be doing commentary and watching the movie. So we encourage you guys to come for that. All right, the doorbell has rang, so you know what that means. It's time to welcome in our guests. They hail from Louisiana, Raging Cajuns. All right, let's go get them. Mitch Laing, Benjamin Gross, and Jeanette Netherlands. Here we go.
Howdy.
Ta-da! Greetings.
Oh my
How
God.
are you? Huh?
Oh my gosh. How are you?
Yeah, good. Are we going to be waiting for are the other two with you, or will we be waiting for them?
We're gonna be waiting on them. I don't know about Ben. I know that Jeanette's supposed to be for sure calling in. I'm always early.
Yes, no, don't worry about it. Whenever the doorbell rings, we immediately go live. I don't like making anybody wait in the basement. As soon as you get here, we're up and we're live, and we'll just wait for the other ones to come up. When they do, they do. So how are you, my friend?
Oh man, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Now that I've been home for a couple of weeks and had some time to get some sleep and work on editing footage, it's been it's been good. It's been good.
See it Madness sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it was like watching it now. Like today, I just there she is.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. Glad you're here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for having me.
Wow, this is gonna be a lot of fun. So, wow, see a Madness. So this is gonna be the last time you and I talked, Mitch. You were talking. You had just got done completing the Bogman, and that went out and did very, very well. And then we had Bree Hill on.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. Now, did Bree actually work on this film? You said, or no, because of her schedule?
Yeah, it didn't work out with Bree's schedule this time. She's actually the one that found us, Miss Jeanette. So, thank you very much to Bree, because we wouldn't have found the lovely, lovely Miss Jeanette. And she did such a fantastic job, and I cannot wait for y'all to see what she was able to pull off.
I can't either. I was actually gonna see if Jeanette would do the same thing as Bree did, but that would be hard to ask. But when Bree was here, she was talking, and she did an effect on her hand. She made a cut on her. Oh, it was crazy. It was so much fun.
She did it in real time while doing the interview. She's like, "Oh well, I really like Saw, and that movie was real fun." And it is.
she just go ahead and put the cut right across her hand. It was just like everybody's going like, "That's amazing." It was so much fun. But Jeanette, Sea of Madness, mermaids. You got to do mermaid makeup. So before we get into that, though, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk to Jeanette just for a little bit, and I want to catch up with her and get her story. Because it seems like you guys have a lot of talent in your small area, Mitch. Are you in the same area with Mitch?
I am not. I'm based out of New Orleans.
Okay. So how did you get into the entertainment business?
Actually, randomly, I've been a professional since 2009. And I was in the beauty world, fashion editorial world. I was doing some big things, but nothing with film. I had no intention of getting in the film industry. And one day I got a call from someone I had done their makeup several years prior, and they were on set and a makeup artist no showed, and they were like, "Are you available?" And I was like, "Sure, I can come in." And that movie, there was the DP was he had his own production company, and he came up to me and he was like, "I really like your work. Can I have your card?" And from that point on, I was in the film industry. And I never looked back. And that was in 2018. And then I just got into special effects because they kept asking me for it. And self-taught, I just started doing it and then found out I actually really love it. So, and now I make my own prosthetics.
I was going to ask you who taught you to do the special effects stuff, because I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So so as far as that goes, now you got into it since 2018. Was there anything that really surprised you? I mean, because you said you were doing the fashion thing. Was there any now fashion? Does that mean you were modeling in front of the camera, or were you doing the makeup behind it?
I was doing makeup.
Okay. And so is it light years different from doing makeup for a fashion shoot versus doing makeup for an indie film?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's just a completely different style. Where any makeup that you're doing for film, it's they call it the no makeup look. Your primary goal is to make it look like they're not wearing anything on camera. And whereas fashion is more avant-garde, it's heavy, it's just completely different.
I'm gonna go to our chat real quick, and I know what people are gonna say. This I gotta put this out here because okay, so you probably noticing something I normally don't do on the show, but I am okay with it today because of last time. And we are letting Mitch smoke today because last time Mitch was here, I didn't know that he smoked, and he went through 90 minutes of being good. I had no idea. And after we went off camera and we talked, I didn't realize I could see Mitch was starting to get really stressed a little bit. I felt really bad. And I was like, I got to hurry the hell up. And so I went off camera, and then poor guy, I just wanted to say, I just said, you know what? If he smokes tonight on camera, I don't give a shit because he deserves it. Probably will never happen again, but tonight it's accessible. He's allowed to.
Oh, I'm so.
You were a champ last time, Mitch. You were. I was telling people about that. Going, I felt so bad. I was like, I just felt so bad for you. But it was so much fun though, and I just kept on going and talking with you. And I think we went past our time because we were having so much time. We were having so much fun. That's what happened.
Louisiana, real quick. There's an armadillo running around my back porch right now.
Now is that a pet?
No, that's not a pet.
Okay. So New Orleans, fashion. Okay. So sorry, I just had to get that out there. So doing makeup artists, doing makeup for fashion shoots, and then going over to the movie side of it. What were some of the things that you didn't that were new to you, Jeanette, that you had no idea what you were doing, but you were going to learn to do it anyway? What were some of the things that caught you by surprise?
I would say, I don't know if anything caught me by surprise. It wasn't, switching over into the film industry wasn't a shock to me. Like, I think just as far as learning, it's just been the special effects side. The different style of makeup to the film just came naturally to me. So really just anything that would be just more on the special effects side where I was like, oh, okay, new this world, whatever.
Now, had you ever oh, you got some friends here. Sharina Leggett says, "Hey Jeanette, miss you, girl." And then we have Daron Morgan saying, "Hey Mitch." All right. Coming out. I appreciate that. Sharina is laughing. I think she's laughing at me. That's so. What was your now? Had you ever been on a movie set before your first set that you walked on?
I had not.
Wow.
No, I don't believe so. No.
Well, you picked it up right away. Now, Mitch, as a director, is that unusual for a makeup artist to walk onto a set and be able to grasp it right away? Have you seen that before in your career, or a makeup artist can do that, or does it usually take a little bit of time and seasoning before they get the hang of it?
Well, I'm willing to bet more times than not it doesn't come that naturally at all. But I've always been around miracle workers. So the last person I did special effects with was Bree, and that was her first time ever walking into a movie set, and she picked it right up. So yes, more likely than not, no, that doesn't happen. But in my experience, people tend to surprise me a lot.
Yeah, my total respect to you, Jeanette. Seriously,
Thank
I mean,
you.
I know a lot of experienced operators, and I don't know if they could actually just. I don't know if they just walk onto
Well, I mean, keep in mind, I had been a professional since 2009. So I think just my experience, and I've done a lot of big things. I was assistant director of makeup for New York Couture Fashion Week. I had shot a bikini calendar in Mexico, like done a lot of editorial work. So my professional background prepared me, for being in film. I think so. When they asked me to come on set in 2018, I think it just came natural just because I just brought my professionalism that I already had, with me from my prior experience doing normal beauty makeup and everything else. And I just brought it with me. And that's why I think it just became natural.
You know what I love about this is I basically lived with Jeanette for just about 5 or 6 days, and this is the first time I'm learning any of this information as well. So
we were a little too busy to be talking, catching up on little things.
What was some of the things that you enjoyed in the fashion world? I mean, did you felt like you had already, you like you said, you had a lot of success. You got to travel. You got several high profile jobs.
I love traveling for work. Always I have passport. We'll travel. You can book me wherever. So that's the best part of it. But like working out in New York, so much fun. And those events are very high pressure, and you're getting hundreds of artists, models ready in a short amount of time, and everything, things change at the last minute. It's very high pressure, but it's so much fun and it's so rewarding. It's one of the best experiences of my life. I would definitely do Fashion Week again for sure. But so exciting.
Now, as far as your now, have you done any acting beforehand as well? I mean, did you
Actually, randomly, I have. Now, when I was younger, I did. I did like little theater and things like that. And I went to school at University of Mississippi for journalism, so I was always comfortable with being in front of the camera. But as life happens, you sometimes don't pursue the things you study. But your life kind of comes full circle sometimes. And I was doing a movie last summer in Birmingham, and Antonio Sabato Jr. was the lead actor, and there was this bit part that was a nurse, and it was just the nurse and Antonio, and the director was like, "Can you fill this spot in?" And I was like, "Sure." So I run the lines, I do it, and he pops his head up, and he was like, "That was really good." He said, "I'm going to shoot you from the back of your head, and I'm going to use you for a different character. So you're going to play two different characters." And I was like, "Okay, I'm fine with that. It's fine." So then the next time it's just me and Antonio again. And this time I'm a secretary. And so that's when they got my face in that one. And the director pulls me to the side, and he was like, people either have it or they don't, and you have it, and you should be in front of the camera. And I was like, okay, thanks, but you know, I love doing makeup, so too.
Sure,
So
sure.
what you're saying is we're gonna have to kill you in a movie.
Yes, that's right. Well, you know what? That's one of my favorite stories we've had on. We had a makeup artist, a young lady, April Bradford, and oh, God, I hope I got. There's so many. Angel Bradford. I knew I messed up the name. Angel Bradford. We had her on the show, Jeanette, and she was very much like you. She started out in makeup, right? She started out making this. She went into movies. But her first makeup job was pretty much like a really cool like yours. You know, where you had to shoot. You got to do two scenes. You got to play two different characters in the movie.
Yeah.
She got to make up a prosthetic of her head, and then watch it get of her, and then watch her get killed during the filming. So I mean, I mean, being a dual threat, an actress and a makeup artist, there's a lot of fun to be had there. So I mean, as far as indie movies go, was there anything surprising when you walked in onto the set of an indie movie film? Considering the high profile work you've done before, then you come onto the indie film and it's like, this is a little different. Or were you ready for the challenge?
Oh, I'm ready. Ready. Always. Like, this, I would say out of all the things I've done, I think the Sea of Madness was personally, I think, the most challenging personally I've done. I've done other prosthetics for movies before, like on my own. I've done a full on mask. I had my actor had to completely cast his face, his head, and everything, and then create this whole monster. Now, making monsters is something that was not in my game plan, what I was ever going to do. I like scary movies, but I'm not a horror movie person. Like, they kind of scare me a little. So I was like, oh, I'm never going to make monsters. And here, everybody always asks me to make monsters, and I'm doing it. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this, which I haven't done anything too evil. But yeah, I have had to do a full on monster style mask before, but just the time constraints that we had for being on this boat and getting it done, and the 3 different mermaids and all in prosthetics and full body paint, that I think this is like personally the most challenged I've been. And basically getting it all done by myself. Thankfully, I had 2 assistants that were so amazing on set that Mitch provided, and they were wonderful. And like, I could not have done it without them.
Shout out Sharina and Katie.
Oh, that's okay. Serena. So that's Serena's there. Okay.
Yes.
She said she was amazing, a patient teacher. So Serena is getting into the game too. Then nice.
Yes, and she did a great job.
Nice. Always good to develop new talent, right, Mitch?
It's absolutely
critical. Hi, Katie. How are you? You definitely got the touch, Mitch. As far as as far as finding your talent and bringing them to your films. That's that's not it's not an easy skill to get. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, so many more go wrong than right as far as that goes, especially indie films, So now last time you and I talked, Mitch, the Bogman had come out. So let's talk about how the run went for that and what led you to decide to make Sea of Madness. So Bogman came out. How did it go? Where was it shown at? How did it do for you? Did you, were you able to recoup were you able to recoup the money for the film? I mean, would it pop? Because I know I'm asking a hard question, but we got to know it. So how did it do for you?
Well, I mean, it's doing well. I mean, it's still technically it's still in the beginnings of its run because it just got released on multiple streaming services only 3 months ago, and it it was released on of course the Green Apple Go YouTube page. It was released on some different Roku apps, the Folsom app, the Learning Channel app. Strangely enough, I didn't learn anything watching the movie, but I mean, if that's where it's on, awesome.
It came out on the Learning Channel app?
Yeah, it's there. Strangely enough. We just found out that it hasn't gotten on Tubi and Amazon and Pluto TV yet, even though it is going to be released on there, because they had to get rid of all of our fake beer ads and fake commercials at the beginning of the movie. When I asked why, I was like, well, I mean, those could all be real. Like y'all made Sea of Madness real. Y'all could very easily make those beers real. And then that's just free promotion. And the big streaming services, they ain't going to promote something that they didn't put money on. I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense. So now we don't have to do that for Sea of Madness. And we didn't, even though we were going to. And then we found out that's like, all right, kill the rum commercials.
Oh, okay. Okay. That is a little different. So the movie's still just getting out there. So I mean, it's starting to show when it gets Tubi and Amazon, it'll really go.
I mean, the numbers on the apps that we're getting already are really good. Just on the YouTube page alone, it's already close to 30,000 in 3 months, and that's with little to no PR outside of just grassroots PR, and so I'm very proud of that. We did win third place in the Best Louisiana Homegrown award. We got a couple of other honorable mentions like in the LA Indie Horror Film Festival, which we weren't really expecting any of that stuff because, I said before, like when we did Bogman originally, we did it as a lark, like it was just a fun thing that we all had a passion for, but we had no real beliefs that anybody would ever see it outside of our friends. And then, and it did what it did, and I'm very proud of it. But I will say this, like Sea of Madness makes the Bogman look like a children's coloring book. And
well, you know what though? It's like you learn as you go. Every movie is a growth, like you start off and then the second movie comes out and it's a little bit better and the third one's a little bit better. I mean, you're learning as you go too. You're learning to write, you learn to write stronger scripts. You're learning how to tell your story, more effectively. I mean, I think every movie that a director does it should be better than the last one they did.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I look at it.
I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. I mean, Miss Jeanette can tell you I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just trying to get everybody finished.
You did a great job. You're doing great.
See, there you go. And let me tell you, when she tells you you're doing good, you believe that because she's been around some heavy hitters. She's not going to BS you. She's going to tell you what she thinks.
She said something during the set that really pulled at my heartstrings, and I've quoted it a few times, but it did mean a lot. What she said when we were all the one night we did let our hair down the last night of the boat.
Now, did you film the movie on this boat all for the whole shoot, or was this part? Oh, you did. Wow. Okay. Now I haven't heard anybody doing that. So how long were you out shooting this?
18-hour days. Easy.
How many days were you on the water?
Oh, the boat is technically in the water, but it's like bolted into the ground, like very far down, so it's not going anywhere.
Okay. I thought you went out in the water and filming. I'm like, oh shit, that's ambitious.
No. I don't think the military or whoever would have allowed it.
Yeah.
Did you were you on a military boat?
Oh, we were on the USS Kidd in Baton Rouge. It's a full-on huge destroyer battleship.
Yeah. That's a destroyer. They actually named the Kidd of a class of destroyers after that, the Kidd class. Wow, you get to film on a destroyer.
Dude, it was like an adult Chuck E. Cheese. Like it was just a playground in there.
Oh my gosh! Now, did you please tell me you guys took pictures of that for yourselves? Did you guys go around and take pictures of the cast and crew while you're on the boat?
Oh man, if you go to the Sea of Madness Facebook page, we've got tons and tons of backstage pictures, and with all the cool, crazy like lighting that we had, that I was so very proud of. Like between the acting, the special effects, and the quality with the lighting and the crew, like this was such an awesome experience under the worst of conditions. And everybody really did step up to the plate to take care of each other while we were there, because like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And we came across a bunch of stuff that was not just, you can't really plan for some of that stuff. You can, but we just didn't. And but like you said, we're learning and we're doing it better, and we're making call sheets, Jeanette.
Now, here my big question is, how did you manage to get permission to shoot on the kid?
Uh, Money. I mean, we pretty much, whenever we showed the Bogman in our hometown, whenever we first got it ready, pretty much the next weekend after that, me and the producer Adam and Daniel Stark and Richard Henderson were just on the road every other weekend after that, going and visiting battleships. Like we went to go visit the USS Alabama. We visited a submarine in Little Rock, and we went to the World War II Museum in New Orleans, and then we found the kid. And the thing that set the kid apart was they had really good relations with the Chenault Aviation Museum that's here in Monroe. Oh. And we shot a movie at the Chenault Aviation Museum in 21. And everything worked out really well with them. And they actually wrote us a letter of recommendation to the kid. And the kid were like, hey, if they say that y'all are good and y'all will respect our rules, then yeah, pay us the money and y'all can come stay the night for 5 nights.
The Chenault they're talking about is Claire Chenault, who commanded the Flying Tigers over in China during the start of World War II. Wow, what an honor!
And that's in our hometown. That's like I drive past it at least once a week.
Now, the you saying money, is that, did they just take a donation, or or do production companies have to pay a set fee?
Oh, you have to pay a set fee.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, wow. I mean, once you rented out the boat for 5 days, man, I can't even imagine how big was your cast and crew for this one compared to the Bogman?
We had a pretty extensive crew on this one. Cast and crew, we were 35, 40 strong at times. And everybody wore multiple hats, and everybody banded together, and everybody they took care of business. It was the first time that I've worked on big sets before where I was just a lowly PA and everything like that, so it wasn't like the biggest crew I ever worked on, but it was definitely the biggest crew that I've ever captained. And it couldn't have worked with any other group of people than the people that were there, I believe. Just the mixture and the chemistry was just right. And whenever it's right, it's right. And the proof is in how, after we spent 5 days, technically, some of us spent 6 days of 18-hour shoot days, eating twice a day, being frigid cold. I was cold and I had on a jacket, and like all the cast had to have on like summer wear the whole time. So like the conditions were rough, but despite all of those terrible stimulus, nobody ever showed an attitude. Nobody ever got angry, and nobody ever, like, it was, I mean, people's feathers got ruffled from time to time, as you do whenever you're sleep deprived, but it was nothing that people just looking at each other in the face going, I'm sorry, bro, and then just move on.
Were you now when you're with your makeup effects, how many effects, how many people did you have to make up every day, Jeanette? And
well, I was primarily responsible for the mermaids, so there was only one a day, thank goodness. But when we go in for reshoots next month, I think I'll have to do 2 in one day. But yeah, so it was just, but I painted for like 5 hours straight.
Oh man.
So
And that was just for the one mermaid.
That was just for the mermaid, and all of the main 7 casts. There were 7 main characters in the beginning. All 7 of them had to get like sunburn makeup on their face, neck, and arms every single day. And that was what Sharina and Katie pretty much had to do all the time. It was as soon as everybody woke up, it was like, all right, get back in the chairs. We got to start putting makeup on everybody. Well, Miss Jeanette's over there working on the prosthetics and the mermaids and getting ready for the transformation scene or this other whatever crazy shit we were doing.
yeah.
How do you keep your talent? Like putting when you put masks over their heads and extensive makeup around their face. How do you keep them from going antsy?
That's where they have to just either put earbuds in, listen to music, find their own. When you're in the makeup chair for that long, like it is, every once in a while you let them get up and kind of walk around and stretch, but they have to just kind of, or you talk to them, distract them.
Yeah. Okay. So as long as they hear a nice, friendly voice, it helps relax them.
Well, yeah. I will say this. There's a story that there was a moment, the moment that I knew that Jeanette was one of us was whenever I walked into the war room and she was doing the sunburn makeup for Adam, and those two were laughing and giggling and telling stories like they went to high school together back in the day. And that sounds like, all right, so she's one of us.
Yeah. That's so cool. That is really neat. I mean, you get a chance to get in there and get your hands in there, and I'm sure you'll be able to knock out 2 in a day without any problem. Hey, come back, Mitch. Don't worry, he will. This is StreamYard. So let's talk about this, Mitch. So what brought on the Sea of Mermaid? I mean, Sea of Madness. Why go back to that story and not or not going off to another original story? What attracted you to do the sequel to the Bogman?
Hello, I seem to have lost all audio.
No, we hear you. We hear you. We hear you.
I don't know if he hears us.
Oh, he'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so now had you met the two assistants, Sharina? No. So the first one, wow, it's impressing me more and more because most of the time you want to try to, especially when it's a makeup heavy movie, you sort of want to have that chemistry. You got to be able to work on the same page all the time, and it's like, I mean, there's been veteran crews that have that trouble. So
right, and let me tell you, it was a miracle because those girls had never done makeup before. And they did a phenomenal job. Sharina really, really took to it. I don't think Katie loved it as much, but Sharina, amazing. She did such a good job. She's a natural.
And the thing is, though, too, is like you'll always have work. That's the beautiful thing about being a makeup artist, that you'll always be
unless there's a strike.
Right. But you'll always have work. I mean, even more than actors. If you are a really good makeup artist, a real could run a department. Yeah, I mean, you'll be and New Orleans is a great place to Louisiana has a lot of talent down in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. And, we are getting more and more. There's more studios coming in. 50 Cent is building the one in Shreveport. There's there's another big one that's potentially going to be built in Baton Rouge. We've got the ranch out in New Orleans. So with all of these big studios coming in, hopefully it's just going to attract the more people that are leaving LA. Hopefully they come here instead of Atlanta.
Now, Mitch, I asked you for StreamYard paid his nightly visit. So what led you to do a sequel to the Bogman rather than another original story? What attracted you to the Bogman's world enough for you to write another story for it?
Well, I mean, I guess it was whenever we were talking to the distribution company, whenever they were talking about taking on Bogman, and they had said that they were trying to build franchises out of horror movie titles. And whenever they said that, I was just like, I got you. If you want some franchises, I can give you a sequel that's multiple different sequels that are different than the original every time, because it's a different monster with the same documentary crew as the tie-in. So you can branch off and do whatever kind of, you don't have to stick to just one pocket of horror movie. You can do all kinds of different thrillers and different stuff, and it still be in that universe. So you can get all your creative juices out and still keep things in a growing, expansive universe that I don't think that there's been, I know that there's been, you know, creature universes and stuff, but I don't think that there's been one ever connected like this. So
It's so hard. It's so hard to do. It's so hard. I mean, you think about how many horror movies you and I have watched. You know, a lot of indie horror movies, and at the end of each movie, they always sort of like leave room for a sequel. But you know, sure as hell, that's never going to happen because it's low budget. It's micro budget. You know, it's not. It doesn't happen. That's not that's so rare. It's so rare that a micro budget film will get a sequel, a proper sequel. But
well,
that's
you know,
that's
we've
what's
got
important.
the distribution for 10, so I've already made that my mind up on that. So come hell or high water, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna have Miss Jeanette come back as many times as she wants to come back.
Um, Now, Jeanette, now part of your part of you running the makeup department was you had to supply your own makeup, right?
Yes.
Your own material. Now, where do you get your supplies at, and how often do you practice when you're not on set?
Well, I do makeup pretty often. So, just I'm booked constantly with the local news stations, or for CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all the big ones. Anytime they have a guest on a show, I'm the one that they call. So I'm constantly have my hands in makeup. But as far as special effects, um, I generally like I don't play in it just to play. I'm usually making something. Like we have professional stores. They're based out of LA or New York that we order from. Everything has to be ordered in. Some of them are in Texas. A lot of the stuff with special effects is like industrial things. It's not, it's not your powder and your foundation. So, and you have to have masks, and it's toxic, and but it's fun. It's all fun. But yeah, you have to get it all ordered, shipped in. Now, Mitch did order um, a lot of things for the film, but as a makeup artist, you have to bring your own kit. And then you're also bringing, everything else, because you never know what you're going to need on set where you have to make something on the fly. Things happen all the time.
What did your peers
There was a
do?
movie I was doing a few years back where they forgot about a dead body, and so I had to make prosthetics on the spot. So I had to make them. I had to send somebody to the grocery store to get self-rising flour, and I made liquid latex and flour and made all this scarred, gory face because the body had been floating in the water for 3 days. So
Right.
you just got to make stuff happen sometimes.
Uh, what
Where's a
did you?
nearby morgue?
Yeah. Anybody got a skeleton key? Um, what did your peers think about that when you told them when you were first going to go from the highlights of New York, and and going down to do indie films and do special effects makeup? What was the reaction to that when
I
they?
mean, I think everybody loves it. Everybody, the thing about special effects, everybody likes to look at it.
Mhm.
So it's just something different. But, in the industry, typically you're either, beauty or fashion or your film. you know, you're this or that. Not too many people jump in between, but everybody generally loves makeup. So just, you know, everybody's supportive and happy.
Yeah. Now, do you practice on yourself as too? Like, you know, like we mentioned earlier when Bree did that, and then we
Mhm.
mentioned with Bradford. Did you ever put? Have you ever put on a prosthetic yourself, like
Mhm.
your head? You ever had yourself made up like that to see what it was like?
I've done a little, like not too much, but like just like more like Halloween stuff. Not, I don't make my, I don't get on TikTok or Instagram and make my own face up. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
uh,
That
uh,
takes too
uh,
much time. The girls that do that, you
yeah.
sit in front of that makeup for 6 hours. You know, they're doing that all day. I don't have that time, and I'm not. Makeup's expensive.
I was going to ask you, is it really expensive to get?
Yes, makeup's
Just this test
expensive.
on
It's
my
very
face alone
expensive.
cost me $60.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, I
Yeah.
can. Oh, man. Okay, back down to you, Mitch. So we got the so we now as you got an idea that they came and told you that they wanted a horror franchise. So what did you already have the story for the Sea of Madness percolating in your brain, or and did you and was it always intended to be a sequel to the Bogman, or did you convert it over to fit the narrative of the Bogman?
Well, Sea of Madness, the story itself originally came from a book that John Tripp, who came down and was the assistant director for the movie, he wrote the book and he sent me a copy of it while I was editing the Bogman. And I would read it, in between editing. And it's not a super long book, it's like a little bit over 100 pages, so it's like a novelette. And like I read it and I loved it, and because I was still like in the mindset of Bogman, because I was still editing Bogman, um I just thought, man, it'd be really hilarious if the doctor and the deputy from the Bogman was in this story. I feel like that'd be really cool. So like after thinking about it for like a week or so, I hit John up and I was like, hey man, uh I'd already sent him a tester of the Bogman and he really dug it. And I was like, um, I got an idea floating in my head. I'd like to introduce Dr. Martin and Thomas into your story here. And of course, that would change some things up whenever you add two different characters. People would make different choices, because there's different voices of reason. So I would have to change some stuff up in the story. Is it all right if I do that and write a script for this and it'd be like a character sequel to Bogman? It would still be your story. I would just be bringing these two characters over and whatever shenanigans from that ensued. And I did change the creatures to mermaids. They weren't originally mermaids in the original book. They were just all like mer creatures, like gangle skeleton creatures.
Okay.
And I just thought it would be funner and match the cryptozoology motif better if we just changed them to mermaids and made the scientist ladies turn into mermaids. And let him read the script, and he really liked it, and he liked it so much he wanted to come and be a part of it. And it was great working with him. And he directed B Unit the whole time that they were shooting, and so like he got a chance to see his story that he started. Like he got to direct those scenes, and it was really awesome for me to give that to him, and it was really awesome of him to give that to me. So it was a very symbiotic love relationship between the two of us.
How did you go around gathering the cast for this one? How did you get your cast? Were
Uh,
they all local for you, or did you have to
yeah,
go to New Orleans?
getting people to buy in to the idea and buy into the opportunity, because one thing that we knew that we did have that most indie horror films or most indie films don't have going in is we knew we had guaranteed distribution for whatever we made. uh Unfortunately, the studio couldn't give us any money for this one, but you know they saw that we were going to do it no matter what, so they were like, well, no matter what, we'll release it, and we'll talk turkey for the next one. And so we just talked to friends and people that were interested in getting in the business, and most of the money came from two investors specifically. Zane Fontenot, who was one of our sound guys on the set, he threw in a lion's share of the budget himself personally. Just, I have the money, I believe in this, and we of course gave him a percentage on the back end for whenever it does get released, of course. So it's not like he just gave us the money. He is, getting something in return for it.
I was going to ask you, I mean, how hard is it for indie productions to recoup their money? I mean, $50,000. How hard is it for that for most indie films to recoup that? In your opinion?
50,000 isn't. I mean, it's a lot of money to most everyone else in the real world, but it's not a lot of money in the film world. And so I think that any independent movie, that if it's released on the right platforms and given the right push, it can easily recoup its money whenever your budget is that low. We're starting to see that with Bogman, and pretty much all the money that we're making on Bogman is just going directly back into this anyway. So, we're just feeding the monster at this point.
Sure. I mean, I think that's the goal for every movie. And, not only do you get bigger and better, but your budget's increase as well, because you're doing it on a much bigger scale. It's just like, to me, it's like, man, it's so hard. It's like, how the hell do you make it? How do you do it? Does the micro budget film make its money back? Did you, I think we were talking about physical release for the Bogman. Were you able to get a physical release for it yet?
Yeah, the physical release is also forthcoming because of the same ad issues that we have with the other streaming services. But as soon as those master files are sent back without the ads in it, the ball can continue to roll on that. Yes, you can still buy physical director cut copies from us directly, but it is going to be in where you can order it off the Walmart and Target websites, just not at the moment.
Okay, and so that means that you'll also get a physical release for Sea of Madness as well.
Oh yeah, and I'm very excited for people to see what we were able to pull off in 5 days on that boat, banded together. I was going to ask you, Jeanette, what was your favorite special effects gag from the movie?
My favorite?
Anything with blood?
I think I like the forehead pieces I did. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Okay. Well, I don't want to give away what they look like completely, but you got to watch the movie. But
do you have any pieces from past movies, Jeanette?
I'm sorry?
Show us? Do you have any past pieces of some of the other movies that you worked on? Could you show us some of your work?
They're on my Instagram. Some of them are. Some are on my website. I'm bad about posting. But yeah, I have some that are up on my Instagram at Jeanette Renee Cosmetics.
Okay. We have to. You're gonna have to send me your address so I can go ahead. I'm gonna put that in the description box so people can go over and take a look at your work. Okay. That'll be cool. That'll be very cool. Now, because a lot of times you ask a makeup artist, they have we've seen where people had whole rooms dedicated to their work. And then we had one guy who was a major makeup artist, and he didn't have anything in his house. It was just like, he says, well, it's to the studios. And, it says, well, don't you get some of your pieces for yourself? And this is like, no, not very much.
You don't, the pieces are, once they've been used, you can't reuse them.
Right.
So generally they get thrown away. Now, all the molds, like I keep my molds so I can, I can remake it. But once it's made and it's used on that actor, it's just tossed in that moment. So
Right. Oh, now is that does that when you do see that happen, like, okay, the actor will take off his makeup and put the mask down or whatever, and then when when you see it get tossed away, do
yeah,
you get
you see hours of your life just
yeah,
being tossed away.
yeah,
Trash can. You're like, oh,
yeah. Does that when that happens, do you get a little like, damn, that's just ain't right?
yeah.
Oh,
It would be so nice if we could reuse them. Trust me.
yeah.
But yeah.
Trophy. I do keep a trophy from the set of every film that I've worked on, as the serial killer would say.
Right.
Oh,
What do you?
actually, wait, where is it? I do have
Uh-oh.
something I can show you.
Right. There
Here we go.
I forgot
Hey,
that I
while we
had
have
this. So I had to make this for a movie. It lost all its paint, but I had to make this. Wait, can you
look at
see?
that hand. That's a giant ass hand. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So wait.
Now, what's that hand made of?
Silicone.
Wow, that's a big. Is that a life size hand, or is that
Yeah.
something?
It was my friend's husband was the hand model for me.
God bless.
That hand.
And but it's malleable. It's like feels real and everything.
There's your next movie, Mitch.
And you can see it painted on my Instagram.
Holy, look how big that thing is.
So yeah, I guess I did keep a prop.
Let's see. Steven says that. Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. I'm sure you can hook it up. I'm sure they would be more than happy to get some free publicity from you, Steven. No doubt, no doubt. I mean, press is everything now. So yeah, how what kind of reaction did your town give you this time for this movie, Mitch? As far as filming it. Last time you and I talked, we were talking about how, did your town react to you making a film, and did they cover it in the newspaper? Were you able to play it at the big screen? I don't think any of that happened for you. What was the reaction like this time when you announced that you were making Sea of Madness, and you put out your press release? Did anybody react to it in a positive way? Did you get any press coverage out of it?
For Sea of Madness, no. The television station that I worked for did cover and promoted the Bogman very well. The release, the showing we did, and also I work at a radio station as well. So like PR wise, especially everything that I'm involved in, that they came out and they showed up for it. This time around, really not so much, but also this time I didn't really drive the issue home or the effort home because I just had so much on my mind, with the movie, and personally, it was just like I didn't have time to think about that side of it, at that point.
I'm glad they came back around and helped you out around for the Bogman, because you and I were talking about that, and it's like, man, it's it's, to me, anytime a small town, a filmmaker such as yourself does something, I think the whole town should celebrate it. It's like, hey, it's news. It's no one else is doing this. You're doing it.
I'm trying to bring consistent, annual work here in town, for the next 7 years, because that's besides from the Sea of Madness film and the El Chupacabra and Wendigo film, everything else I planned on making right here in town, in my hometown.
Are you planning to do a Wendigo film?
I'm very excited about that one. I'm very excited about the story of it, the concept of it.
Okay. So I'm a nitpicker for this, but where is this Wendigo movie going to be set in?
In the Arizona, New Mexico region. Apparently, that was the wrong answer.
Not Canada. Oh, I watched somebody do a movie called The Wendigo, and they based it in South Carolina.
Okay.
So anyway,
Right.
so and what else? And Chupacabra. I love Chupacabra movies. Okay, so is that going to be like a Wendigo versus Chupacabra?
No, it's going to be 2 separate movies.
Oh man, you could
I
have a
mean, but
crossover.
you have to wait for the finale, the Bogman, because in the Bogman we're going to have all the monsters from all the movies in one big monster bash.
Sort of like Destroy All Monsters back in '66.
Yeah, it's like the Monster Avengers assembling
Yeah,
together kill the military.
yeah, that's always a winning plan. I think it's really neat though that you did. So how hard was it for you to write the? I mean, mentioned you took it from the book, you adapted it from the book. Was it very hard for you to adapt that into your screenplay?
It was actually the easiest script I've ever written in my life because I had the book open just in my lap the whole time that I was writing the script. So like I, for a lot of scenes, almost went word for word on how the book was, and that just made it easy. Like, I didn't have to do jack shit right here. All right. And that's, you can get through 5 or 6 scenes in like, a 2-hour period. And next thing you know is, all right, now I'm bringing in new characters. Now I have to bring in new stuff, and but the story was so good that I wrote the entire script top to bottom in 2 weeks.
Wow, that's really quick. Hey Star Lord, how are you? How are you? Everybody's coming in, still saying hello, hello, hello. So glad you guys are here. Let's see. Echo saying meow, meow. That's right. That's a super secret cat sign here. Here are 8 questions with. Now, are you going to go ahead and keep the same crew as you are from all these films? I mean, Jeanette, are you signed on for the next film as well?
As long as they'll have me, I'll gladly work with them. It's a great team.
And we will have everybody from the team that wants to come back can come back forever and ever.
Now, I think we talked about this the first time too. The first time, is the bane of indie films is a lot of times you'll get a crew together or a cast together, and sometimes they fall off by the wayside. But I already heard in your voice already said you had about 37 to 40 cast members, and I don't get any impression that anybody left during this shoot. I have a feeling your entire crew stayed with you, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, we had some people that didn't return, but that it wasn't anything other than they just couldn't get the time off, like that was the thing about this. This was the first movie that I've ever done principal photography for, that it was all in one consecutive amount of days, in one straight sitting. With Bogman and Unknown Strangers and Near to Wells and Boo and all the, other stuff I'd done in the past, we always just worked on the weekends. And, so everybody just made time that way. And this was the first time that everyone was there, had to be there. If you were going to be there, you had to be there from day 1 all the way to day 6, or, you couldn't be there. So some people couldn't, that just, it wasn't that they didn't want to and isn't that they don't want to come back and do it again. It's just that this particular time, they just, it didn't work out.
Serena's asking, is the Bogman going to be like the Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
She needs to stop fronting, because she doesn't need to act like she ain't seen the Bogman about 20 times. And she knows exactly what the Bogman is.
That's a good question, though. So, what's the next one going to be about? Can you have? I mean, even though you still got to do pickups for the Sea of Madness and reshoots, are you already in your mind? Are you starting to write for the third one?
Third one's already done. Script's already done. I've already passed it out to most people. Did I give it to you, Jeanette?
You did.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the script's already done for the next one. We've already started prepping in a way for it, because you can't ever stop. If you stop for any moment, you
No, as long as they're offering to pay for it, the next movie, we couldn't get you for the second one, but we'll get you for the third one. Yeah, I would be blistering my ass to get a prep too if they're going to pay for it. I will hold them to that. That's for sure. Are you going to go ahead and keep it? Are you going to keep filming in Louisiana?
Oh yeah. In fact, we're going to be filming a lot in the exact same locations for Bogman. It's going to be a lot of the same spots. So it's all home court advantage for us, which I was talking to Daniel whenever we were talking about, prep for the Bog Anthology, which is the name of it. We're like, man, compared to Sea of Madness, this one's going to feel like a layup, because like all those little issues that we had with Sea of Madness, we won't have, because we'll be here and we can easily take care of people that have to come in from out of town, you know? And so I'm very excited about the amount of comfort and also the amount of freedom that we're going to have whenever we do the next one. Because, you know, you had to follow and be on your P's and Q's whenever you were on the boat, and you had to respect their rules, and we did, you know, and they commended us for that. And so I'm just looking forward to getting back out in the woods again, because that's where my Southern Louisiana heart, that's where it lives.
Right. Is it more fun? Was it more fun shooting on the destroyer than the swamps?
Apples and oranges. Apples and oranges is two very different types of fun. The woods feel like home. So it's that familiarity that you have in the woods, but you know, whenever you're on the destroyer, you're just on a giant playground. It felt like I was back on the jungle gym and monkey bars again. You know, it was great.
Now, Jeanette, do you have who decides what the creatures are going to look like? Is that the director's call, or is that the makeup artist's call? That's going to be special effects. Is that their call to be what the creatures should look like, or is it a collaboration, or how does that work out?
I think it was really a collaboration. He gave me direction to go in, but then I just kind of created, like, you know, how, like, in my mind, how I thought, you know, there should be gills, or you know, how I wanted the base to be shaped. And but he definitely gave me like parameters to work in, but allowed me at the same time to be as creative as I wanted to be.
That's you got to appreciate the faith in your skills. He has faith in your skills. I mean, I know a lot of times directors are, especially for creature features, they're a little bit, you know, they're so worried about what the creature's going to look like. They can sometimes, you know, be a little too over the shoulder, you know, like, and you got to trust your makeup person, your visual effects person, to show you what they can do.
Yeah.
I left Jeanette alone on set unless I just absolutely needed something from her at the time.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool as hell. That's cool as hell. I'm very excited for you. When's the trailer going to be ready for Sea of Madness?
Well, Daniel actually sent me a trailer today, actually.
No, we did not set that up. That's a really spontaneous question.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things we gotta fix up on it real quick, but it should be out tomorrow. Actually, I'll probably end up putting it out there tomorrow. I sent it to you, Miss Jeanette, right?
I think so. Earlier today.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. Are we hiding the creature? Man, wait, I gotta go back. Are you really gonna put your Wendigo in New Mexico or Arizona?
I am.
Can I talk you out of that?
Where should it be?
Canada.
I can't get to Canada, man. Like,
you got a special effects expert right there. She can make it into Canada. Trust the process.
Jeanette,
are you looking forward to making a Wendigo, Jeanette? Do you know?
I can't wait.
You know what?
And if we need to shoot in Canada, we can stay with my family. Just saying.
You're Canadian?
My mother is, yes.
That was about you.
Guess what, Mitch? You're going on a road trip.
I have Canada since 2000.
Chupacabra can definitely stay in New Mexico and Arizona, but with Wendigo, we got to take it up north. Got to go up north.
Well,
see, look at that. See, let's go. You're welcome, Canada. See, look at that. See, hell yeah.
Is the Wendigo movie is a direct sequel to El Chupacabra that happens to the documentary crew on the way back home to Arkansas from what happened at El Chupacabra. The basis of the story is this. I'm excited about it. They're done with El Chupacabra, the survivors. They're driving back home, and they have two blowouts. And they have to call AAA. AAA is like, man, I'm about 90 minutes away. It's going to take me a minute to get there. So the rest of the movie is a Cujo-esque film with them sitting in the car waiting for AAA, and this Wendigo is out there hunting them down, and they get trapped in the car at times. And there's going to be a Mr. Orange situation in the back, with a bleeding actor the entire time.
A little QT in there. Nice. Nice. I might have to show you the Wendigo for you so you can understand my fear. No, we've never tried to talk out. We never tried to talk a director out of a storyline ever before. No, this is a first too. But Jeanette says you guys are more than welcome to go up north. No, I'll have to show you this movie that they did. It was really cool. The really good thing about it was, and let me go back to here. Let me ask you this question. So, have you ever had to deal with an actor who took their character to the extreme? I mean, like they far beyond driven. Have you ever seen that or heard any stories about that where, they're supposed to be upset about something, but when the camera's rolling, they truly are upset. I mean, they really are angry. They're not really necessarily acting, but they're angry. Have you ever seen anybody go that far? And if so, how do you bring them back?
Well, and Miss Jeanette can attest to this. The actress that played Stacy had to get to some places where she had to cry and scream and suffer and stuff like that. And she had to get to a place to get to there. And I'm not gonna lie, it was strangely dark editing those scenes because I had to just listen to her scream for hours, and it kind of gets to you for a while. There was this one and I talked to the actress about it. I was like, there was this one clip that I was like, if we just released this one clip on like the dark web, people would wonder what the hell is going on, because it's just a picture of this is shot of this girl's face close up, and she's covered in sweat and muck, and she's writhing in pain, and she's just suffering and screaming, talking about how it hurts. So and you hear the camera guy like, oh, this looks good. Oh yeah, this looks good. And then you hear me in the background go, now say it hurts so bad. It hurts.
Oh man.
Good.
Are you gonna release that for the Sea of Madness?
I mean, it's in the movie. I mean, the us talking to her isn't in the movie, but just if we just release that raw clip, people be like, "What the?"
Yeah. Now now do you make your own trailers, Mitch?
Oh, the team does. Whether it's me or Daniel or Sam or someone from the team, we make all of our own trailers.
Do you find it hard to make trailers now? Because it seems like we talk about this a lot. That trailers seem to be a lost art these days. I mean, they always seem to be sharing. They always seem to be sharing the whole movie. Like we're talking about this one movie, Abigail, that's going to be coming out soon. But already in the first trailer, they've already revealed the secret of the movie. And it's just like it's unbelievable. It's like whatever happened to that art? I mean, how hard is it to make a trailer? In your opinion?
Once again, in my experience, we tend to crank everything out and have a real good time and a fun time doing it. And I mean, with indie movies, you got to give away some stuff, but yeah, you're right. It's an art of finding what not to reveal. And I'm not going to lie. I have to surround myself with people that tell me, Mitch, we can't show that. We can't put that picture up. I'm like, well, why not? Well, because of this. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We can't do that.
Oh, it's hard. Oh man, I can imagine. So, what's the time frame for the movie that be coming out? And realistically, what release date are you looking at?
Well,
Green Apple
wants to keep all of our monster movies in an October release, so it's going to be at least until October before the movie is released, which is good. That's just fine. I'll take that. Gives us plenty of time to, now that I've got my first cut of all the footage that we've already filmed together, we have time, we can plan and get all the remaining 6 or 7 scenes we have to get. And I know I'll get done editing that stuff within a week or two once we get it back home, and then the sound team can start cranking it up because the sound can make or break a film. Miss Jeanette said it herself, and because I sent her some footage that I edited together. It's like, Mitch, this sound, it's terrible. I'm like, I know, that's the camera sound. this isn't the stuff we recorded.
No, not yeah. We're gonna what do they call it? ADR, when you take it back there and add sound to it.
Well, no, there's the dialogue editing from the recorded sound, and then the mixing on that, and then you have the ADR and Foley, which is all the sound effects, and then you have your music you have to make, and so it's still, I still foresee it, even after I have all the editing done. Part of the reason that I go so fast is to give the sound team plenty of time to do what they need to do.
Sure. Jeanette, what's next for you? What movie will you be moving on to next?
I don't have a projected movie just yet, but I've been working since I wrapped that, like steadily doing makeup for the news and different things. So right now it's Mardi Gras season in New Orleans, so it's a lot of that
too
going on. I did the former mayor Mitch Landry's makeup the other day for MSNBC. It's just it's stuff like that. Just constant TV commercials.
So you're gonna be extremely busy then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate. I stay busy, even with the strike, because I do a lot of TV commercials, which were not affected by the strike, and I also do a lot with the news. So, and it's the major news, it's not the local news. So, fortunately, they come to town a lot, and I work with the NFL as well. So I'm fortunate enough to stay working even, during the strike. So hopefully now that the film industry is somewhat back, it's still slow, but after Mardi Gras, I think it's going to pick up.
Good. We have all your social stuff down below. I'll pick up any more that you guys want to send me. Just send it to me. Mitch, and Jeanette, I look so forward to seeing both the Bogman. I still have yet to see it. I'm still looking forward to watching that. I still have not seen it. I still didn't get a copy. I thought by now that we would give or at least be on Tubi, but I have not seen it on Tubi. So I think you sent me a Vimeo. That's what she said. You sent me Vimeo, I think.
I'll send you the YouTube link here in a second.
Okay. Yeah, I think you sent me the Vimeo link the first time. So I want to thank you guys both for coming out here and sharing your adventure with us. I cannot wait for Sea of Madness. We are big mermaid fans as well here. We love mermaids. And are your mermaids going to be? Are they all going to be just evil mermaids? Or are we going to see some good mermaids?
You have to watch the movie.
Okay, because we like good mermaids too. Mermaids are a lot of fun. I think we need more mermaid movies, to tell you the truth. But I thank you for coming out and talking to us. It's gonna be a very exciting film. Honestly, I'm very hyped up to see this Sea of Madness. The chance to work on the kid, get a chance to work with Jeanette. I mean, it's gonna be an amazing experience. And the fact that people want you to continue to make a horror franchise. I can't tell you how many horror people watching this here will absolutely be crying in their soup, because that's the dream of everybody, is to be able to get a franchise up and running. It's harder than you think. It's hard.
Well,
in fact, I think I only know really one director who I've interviewed with that has done that. He made 6 Amityville movies that were loosely tied together, but that's hard. That's hard. And he got distributed by Lionsgate, which really helped out. But otherwise, most of the time, small budget films, they don't get that luxury. So congratulations to you. It's really it speaks to your skill that they want you to do that. So hats off to you, and hats off to you, Jeanette. It's gonna be a lot of fun seeing your work for the first time when I do. All right. All right, tomorrow night, hang on. I want you two guys to stay here for 1 second. Tomorrow night, we will be back here tomorrow with Mike Ferguson. That's right. Mike Ferguson will be coming back. It's been a long time since we had our good friend come back and pay us a visit, and we're going to catch up with him. He did some movies down in Thailand. He did one called The Flood, which absolutely looks batshit crazy. And he's also got some other stories to tell us as well, including his brand new movie, Showdown at the Grands, featuring Dolph Lundgren and Terrence Howard. I'm really happy for him. He's definitely moving up. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow night at 8:00. We will be back with you guys when closer to October, when the Sea of Madness comes out. We'll have you guys come back. I'll try to get the cast members to come out with us and talk and see where it goes. See what's catch up with the Chupacabra and the Wendigo and see how you like filming in Canada. All right. All right. To the chat, I want to thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us. Like I said, I really do appreciate it. I think there is a Echo side going on later on tonight on Echo Zero's channel. So after we're done here, head on over to the Echo Zero's channel and for the Echo side. And then I will see you tomorrow night here, 8:00 with Mike Ferguson. Thanks so much for coming out and thank you for your support. We'll talk to you soon. You two stay right there. And to the chat, we'll say good night. See you tomorrow.